So my name's Aditya. This is section D of the DTNEA. So it's a development section. So this is where you develop your design ideas, look back at your design ideas, and um, um, get feedback from, like, basically use the feedback you got from your clients to work on developing the one design idea that you've chosen. So, um, before you start, it's important that you lay out exactly what you're going to do, what you're going to try out. So, um, one thing you should remember is that when you're developing a product, it can it 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 should be it should be specifically about one part of the product, and it should be like you can literally go into like as much detail about the smallest things. Like you can talk about this, like for example, for my DTNA, I made a supplement organizer. So you can talk about the hinge mechanism used, the screw cap mechanism used, the different finishes, the joints, the type of lids, and packaging. So it's these are quite simple things, but you can go into a lot of detail um, if you put in the work. So talk about the equipment you're going to use, software, so Tinkercad, 3D printer, Cura, stuff like that. What you're going to test out, just lay it out here so it gives you a plan, and whoever's reading it, clarity on what you're going to do. And always remember this summary box that I've told you about before. Um, so when you look at developing like certain aspects of the product, try getting one, like at least two, like, and there's no real like upper limit on it. um, get two or more designs and really go into detail about it. Um, so in this case, I looked at an internal thread stopper and an external thread stopper. Quite simple things, but I can go into a lot of detail about it. Talk about disadvantages, advantages, and at the end come to a conclusion. Um, then I looked at the tubular containers. So I made models, and I went into more detail about the technical side of it. So how the snap fit mechanism works, and looking at like products that are in the market, like in the market right now, that use that mechanism, um, and comparing it, getting client feedback, and coming to a final decision. Um, and then looking at wood joints. So wood joints and finishes are quite simple things. You can go into a lot of detail just describing it, advantages, disadvantages, um, and all of these things are quite simple, but like, and they won't take you a lot of time, but like if you put in the effort, it's worth it. So these are places where you can pick up easy marks and talk about your final decision, client feedback, and then um, so in this section, I talked about my box container and my hinge mechanism. So put in everything that you think about, like all your thoughts, just put it down on paper. It's really worth it. And pictures are very important. Put down as many pictures as you can of your designs, prototypes, products in the market right now, as example, pictures of you working, for evidence and a final decision. Um, and this is where start thinking about packaging and researching about packaging. So I looked at perfume bottles as an example. Look at different packaging ideas, and making prototypes. Um, and I think this is applicable to most products. Talking about finishes, going to a hardware shop and looking at finishes for wood, or polymers or whatever, and talking about your packaging designs, looking at different pictures on the internet, looking at examples and making a final packaging design. And yeah, so this is the end of the development section. The next section is the manufacturing specification section and realizing design ideas.